We got ourselves a versus, boys, requested from the Animaniac, asking who would win in a fight between Captain Cold and the Shocker, which is quite an interesting fight. So, Captain Cold, I'm gonna have to do some education because people sleep on Captain Cold. First off, Captain Cold's cold gun is better than Mr. Freeze's. Like outright, Mr. Freeze has said it. Captain Cold has been said, if I remember right. It may have just been better than Freeze's gun, but I'm pretty sure he's been stated to have the best cold gun out of everyone out of all the little cold people. I at least know it's better than Mr. Freeze for a fact because his cold gun is just something else. Now, Captain Cold also, like, he's a goon. Like, a lot of Flash's goofier villains that people question how is this guy able to cause Flash problems is because Captain Cold is pretty much carrying, like, dang near half of Flash's rogues gallery. Well, not half because Flash has a lot of problems other than costing people. But yeah, Captain Cold is like one of DC's best thieves. You know what? I think Captain Cold's a better thief than Catwoman. I said it. So, you got qualms with that. You can comment about something. But yeah, because Captain Cold, he's real good at prep. But, of course, since he's a thief, it's not propositioned as prep because, you got to plan a heist. And, part of his plan is to basically plan for the unexpected. So he's always thinking quick on his feet. Like, that's pretty much how he's able to deal with Flash because half of the little rogues crew basically just throw stuff on the floor premeditatedly and traps for Flash. But Shocker, that kind of doesn't work as well because Shocker would just kind of break the ice. And Flash doesn't necessarily always break the ice because he doesn't want to just go around destroying buildings. That's why he doesn't run at full speed most of the time. Shocker doesn't really have that issue. He doesn't really have that issue being a nice guy like Flash. I will say Shocker is also pretty smart. I don't think I'd put him above Captain Cold, but he is smart. The MCU kind of, like if you're thinking of Shocker, probably think of like Spectacular, Insomniac versions. So I'd say Captain Cold's probably smarter. His freeze gun could probably take down Shocker, but Shocker has way better durability because of his suit. He's been able to take hits from people like Spider-Man and Luke Cage, and has been able to reflect bullets. So yeah, Shocker can basically break through his ice, and it can take him down for good shock. Now Captain Cold has, he's a pretty quick guy dealing with Flash. Of course, not superhumanly, but he's probably quicker than something like Mister Freeze's big ass. But like, if Captain Cold lands a clean shot on him before he can react, that's probably his only win con. But like, Shocker just kind of has more power and more durability, basically, as opposed to Captain Cold, who's working off of, IQ. He'd probably have to go and duck for cover in a situation like this. But that kind of doesn't work against a guy that could destroy the building. So yeah, I got Shocker.